So what was this email about?
It tells about my health, and I believe that I requesting to have a female present when meeting with Kruger.
So this is after
This is
they do this unofficial PIP?
This is pre the day before the unofficial performance improvement plan, which I didn't know I was going to receive.
The 154 to 157?
Yes.
Is that what you have?
And just to note that why would I have been given this if there was an actual performance improvement issue? Why wouldn't I have been given it back in June? And why isn't it just an official performance improvement plan?
Objection, argument.
Yeah, it is argument. I mean, I'll generally just ignore the argument. I mean, do I have the dates wrong? That's why I was questioning. I felt like the dates were different, but so you're saying this was before the
26th?
And then you want this admitted into evidence?
Yes, please.
Attorney Simcox.
Is there September 26th?
This one starts October 4th. Wait, where are we? 157?
Okay, here I must have done
Well,
the thing different.
I think it goes
down further. The email was sent on the 26th.
Okay, so 159.
159.
Well, it actually technically goes to 160. Yeah, so 154 to 160.
Okay.
I think is where we're at. That makes a little more sense.
No objection.
All right.
And then the email to Paulson is ERD 144.
And then going up to, so it's really, it looks like it might be 143 and 144.
It could be.
Yeah. I think it's 143 and 144.
Okay.
And you want that admitted?
Yes, please.
Attorney Simcox?
No objection.
That'll be admitted.
And also on that day, I sent an email to, it's ERD 142. I sent an email to Senior HR Stacy Meyer about the hostile work environment, about a complaint.
All right, 1 second. ERD 142.
Is it 140?
Email to Stacy.
Oh, is that it? Yeah.
Is that the one you were talking about? Email
Yes.
to
142.
Stacy Meyer.
Yes, please. Or she sent me an email.
Oh, okay. Email.
And she's requesting this information, but that's not according to. I have to pull out the statute or the handbook of how. I have the handbook. It's from Human Resources Handbook, Chapter 412, Investigations and Predisciplinary Procedures.
All right. Well, let's start with did you move to have this moved into evidence?
Yes. Please put that into evidence.
Attorney Simcox.
No objection.
Okay. And you believe that this is not following the proper policies relative to this type of complaint?
Right.
Is that what you're saying? She's giving you the wrong information?
You can just make up. a verbal complaint.
And then where you got to point me, I think you were going to send me to another exhibit, or no? Or you're just testifying about what the correct.
I was just testifying. Oh, I'll have to pull it up. Or here. Human Resources, Chapter 440, the section 0.05. Members of management are prohibited from failing to act when a complaint or concern is brought to their attention.
All right. That's all that section says.
It says more, but doesn't really pertain to about a complaint for this. There is another document that I would reference, but I don't have it right now.
Ready? Go ahead.
All right, so let's see. On November 14th, I received another investigatory notice that was delivered. I was accused of making malicious comments at an event.
So this was Paulson that
He delivered it, and I believe he was the one who probably filed the complaint.
And then you think that's not true, or what's your concern with?
So what happened. I was assigned to go to WTC with the cadets, and when I was there, I ran into our coworker's wife, and he was the one at the time. I don't know how much I can say, but so Peter Blum, who moved into our building, he was the whistleblower, and so I went up to his wife, and I hadn't said anything to anyone at that point I didn't share about all the things that I had been experiencing, and I said that I understood what he went through, and it's unfortunate for the cadets. I just left it. It's in the investigation document. That's what I said. And I just told it to her when we were talking, like just that, and when I asked her how he was. And so they deem those as malicious attempts or malicious comments. I'm sorry, my dog is here. And it said that she had contacted the academy and made a complaint, but there's no documentation about how she contact the academy, because she was corresponding with Paulson, the documentation showing, and it just is misleading. Also, when they filed that they determined that I was first, the pre-disciplinary meeting I was supposed to be provided with documentation of the evidence that they found in their investigation. I was supposed to be provided that information prior to the pre-disciplinary meeting, which I wasn't. Then I brought that attention to HR. And then she said that there wouldn't be another meeting, that it was done. So then it was determined that I had made malicious comments. And I requested that the letter that was determining that states that what I did, the work rule violation, it doesn't state specifically what comments were made that were deemed malicious. And also the letter that I was signed by Director Greenwood about the disciplinary letter. It was a 1-day suspension. That was supposed to be a template that he would copy and paste, but he changed things, like instead of having 14 days, which would be business days, to file a grievance, he changed it to calendar days. So it would be
Object to foundation here.
Do you have the document that you're referencing
I have to look
as
it
an
up.
exhibit? I mean, as an exhibit.
I do. It's in the list, but would we be able to take? Are we able to have a lunch break or something so I can take my dog?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you want to take a lunch break now?
If you could please, and then I can get that information. But she's
How long would the parties like? 30 minutes, an hour
30
for
minutes.
lunch?
30 would be fine from my perspective.
We'll
Yeah.
round it up to 1 p.m.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and stop the recording.
Just show.
All right, it looks like we're recording. I see the red dot on the top for me. We're still here on ERD case number CR 2020-01029 and CR 2020-00512, Erica EIRSCHELE versus State of Wisconsin Department of Military Affairs on September 23rd, 2024. All right, I'm gonna go ahead, Ms. EIRSCHELE, with your testimony.
Okay. So we left off at, we were talking about the comments that were made during a work event at WTC, and I jumped to the decision that was made after the investigation. But during that time, I did meet with Director Greenwood and Senior HR Stacy Myers on November 19th, I believe it was, 21st. Even though he has an open door policy, and there were multiple concerns, including my health. So we sat down and discussed a bunch of, I had procedural irregularity issues that I wanted to go over, and then the concerns with Andrew's management style and the treatment of the cadets and some reports. He was mostly interested in concerns I had in regards to the treatment of the cadets, and kind of disregarded everything else. So he asked me to send him an email describing any other type of mistreatments that I had witnessed or had occurred. So I sent him that email. Let me see if I can get. My dog's not behaving. One moment, please. So if you could please go to ERD 0265. And so in this email, I break down a few situations of different concerns, and made some notations to send to him, to Director Greenwood and Senior HR.
So just this one page.
It's down to 267. There's a chain, but the issues are on 265 and 266 and 267.
All right, so 265 to 267. And then these were, what were they again?
So they're examples of different adverse treatment towards the cadets who, these cadets were minors. And some of these incidents, so the first situation, one, for example, were cadets that I had sponsored, and they had reported treatment that of their team leader, who made comments during, I believe it was a run that they were in, a platoon run, like, I'm disgusted, you guys are pathetic, and just voiced their concerns about how they were treated. So I reported this because Director Greenwood had asked me to, but really it was the responsibility of the cadets to report these types of situations. However, I know that the cadets have also voiced concerns that they don't feel like they feel like they're going to be targeted if they bring anything to the attention and report anything. Let's see, following situation 2. So situation 2 was about majors and Lowell, and that's described and broken down. Situation 3, during orientation, the students get a campus tour, so they visit the schoolhouse, and then they go over into the barracks and see where they sleep, and then chow hall and whatever. But they also do what's called an experiential learning exercise. So the team leaders will come in and give them the applicants, the prospective applicants, kind of a taste of what the academy is like. And so they have to follow orders. And if they don't follow orders, then they have corrective actions to do. And usually lasts maybe about an hour. And during the situation, we had witnessed multiple team leaders who were too aggressive, and my boss at the time, and Andrew Paulson as well, it was Mary DeWitt and Andrew Paulson, knew that the experiential learning exercise, the team leaders were getting too worked up. And that was against the hands-off policy. They were too close to the applicant's face and too aggressive with their tone. The tone is usually loud to make sure that everyone has heard the directions, but not aggressive towards the participant. And so this was all seen on video or witnessed in person, because a lot of times an admissions counselor would go on the tour with the applicants during this experiential learning exercise. This one, this cadet, I'm not sure what their name was, but they had to go out in their t-shirt, short, and socks. And this is just something I had been told. So if a staff hasn't witnessed it, the staff who, it's supposed to be the staff who have witnessed the situation are the ones who are responsible to report the situation. Or if it's the cadets are supposed to report the situation.
All right.
So,
did you want this admitted into evidence?
Yes, please.
Attorney Simcox?
Just a relevance objection, otherwise no objection.
So
yeah, Ms. EIRSCHELE, I mean, obviously I'm going to admit it. But so it's not going to be enough that you raised concerns about cadets generally, right? I mean, your complaint was that you had complained about racial discrimination, if I remember correctly, and that you were retaliated for that reason. Now, if you're somehow saying that these are also race-based complaints, then, feel free to show that. But otherwise, just general complaints
All
um,
these,
don't match what your complaint was alleging. So,
all of these situations were with minorities.
all right. You may continue.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and I will let you know that you have to prove, well, you don't have to, right? At the end of the day, you're not trying to prove the underlying incidents, but you are having to show that you made complaints of race-based discrimination under the Fair Employment Act. And just because someone is a part of a protected class doesn't necessarily mean that you're complaining about discrimination necessarily. Now, maybe you are, and maybe you're going to show other things to fill in some of the blanks. So that's why I said in reading this document, it doesn't look like race-based complaints. So anyway, continue.
It was. Does it? It has to be a written complaint?
No, it doesn't have to be a written complaint. No. So you can continue and fill in details.
When during this meeting, it was discussed about the treatment of the cadets and the discrimination and I had reported the situations. So these are just kind of the write-ups of what I had reported and what I didn't re-inform Director Greenwood and Senior HR Meyer all the details, but it was definitely discussed that day.
All right. Go ahead.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may just object for the record, we're in a probable cause hearing based on an investigation that's already been performed. The protected activity in the complaint was the January 2019 incident with the cadet. It's not proper to submit evidence of everything that may have ever gone wrong at the DMA. These complaints were not raised previously and not investigated, and we're skipping to a probable cause hearing on here. I understand that Ms. EIRSCHELE is pro se, but I just wanted to state that for the record.
Some of these were not investigated until I made these complaints. And so some of them were and some of them aren't, but I was told I can't even ask because that would be me conducting an investigation about investigations.
So I think Attorney Simcox is saying in your complaint, you made specific references to the complaints that you had raised. And it sounded like it was the majors and maybe the Lowell situation. And that these are, I mean, this one says it was several years ago. And then there's another one, we don't know the date. But regardless, he's trying to say that these are events that you were not complaining of in your complaint. So they're basically new allegations. I understand that you're saying, well, they're kind of related. But if they weren't raised in the complaint and investigated, then the respondent didn't have an opportunity to respond to that. So it's more of a due process kind of a objection. The objection is noted. I mean, I'm not excluding anything right now, Ms. EIRSCHELE, but just with the understanding that there may be merit to that objection after I review the complaint.
I believe when I reported everything, I put the date of that I believe the retaliation started. And so this is just an ongoing thing that I had reported this. This is just an additional thing.
Well, again, the objection is noted, and when I have time to review the filings, the complaint in more detail and responses. Just know that there may be some merit to that objection. So,
Okay.
but you can continue.
Okay. So in December, could we go to please ERD 165, 0165?
Can you see that ERD 165 or did it not switch
Yes.
over? Okay.
Can you go to 167? Oh,
167 is
that's
the very
Okay.
end of it. Yeah, so
Okay.
166.
Okay, so I just had a pre-disciplinary meeting with Andrew Paulson and lead instructor Jacobson the day before, and I was asking for documentation about their findings because that's part of the way that the investigation process is supposed to occur. I'm supposed to be informed of their findings so that I can make a proper rebuttal. And then you'll see the following email from Drew.
So this is following up on the malicious comment sort of investigation. Okay.
Yes.
All right. And then you want to go up here, you're saying?
Yes.
How far up?
So then I'm asking about how I'm supposed to rebut something that I don't know what, but I don't know what I'm rebutting. I'm trying to get an idea of what the malicious statements that they came to, how they came to the conclusions of and what they were. So in the disciplinary letter that's stated, let's see. I'd like this submitted into evidence, please.
Attorney Simcox.
No objection.
All right, it'll be admitted. And you can continue.
Okay. There's a chain ERD 0234 235. All right, let me see. I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay. So first my grievance was submitted, that which is 234 to 235.
ERD 234 and 235.
And I believe this document will be repeated in the next exhibit that I'll show. It's in the sequence. So I state on here about how just some inconsistencies and how it's made to perceive that Blum had contacted the academy. Also, future expectations weren't provided. And then in Greenwood's disciplinary letter, let's see. He changes the letter template from what it should be in chapter 410, attachment 2. So I just point out some things that weren't adhered to. So I needed to file this grievance was denied and considered untimely. And so I had to send it to work, WERC. Could you go to 255 to 261, please?
Two five five. Is that what you want?
Yes,
Starts
please.
with response to defendant's motion to dismiss. 255 to 261.
Yes. So this grievance here was also dismissed due to it being untimely. And I had submitted it, and I point out how the Director Greenwood's letter had changed. I highlighted on 257, the section that changed. And then I compare it to the exhibit that's on 258. There should be a brief summary of the misconduct, including the comments that were made. So the date, if you look on 261, so I broke it down into showing how it should have been applied was to business days and not calendar days, and how I would have had it was submitted on time then.
Okay.
All right.